Hello and welcome. In this video we are discussing about microservices. So before we get too deep into the world of microservice design patterns, I want to level set on the vernacular that I will use when discussing microservice. So these are not authoritative, these are just the terminology I learned and grew upon. So when I discuss microservice, I leverage these terms often, and as such I just want to define them so that you know where. And the first of the terms that I want to define as service types, and this will be critical to understanding how various patterns are implemented. So a data service is that which connects to a data source within the system, and this does not mean database alone. Any valid source that can be served through a microservice. Data services are usually bound by domains defined within the global architecture of the system. So examples of these services abound, but a simple one to understand is a product service that deals with a product domain. So usually these domains have details about products but not inventory or orders. So they can be built as individual data services. A business service is a higher level of abstraction that builds on data services. Often we need to define business domains that transcend individual data services in order to correct from business processing that needs to be done in order to operate correctly within the system. So one of the best examples of this is an order domain. So to place an order, you need to have a product and a customer data, and you also need inventory data to ensure that the product is available, and then as the order is placed, you need to charge the customer while decreasing your inventory counts. So as you can see, these are usually much more complex systems than a simple data domain. So a translation service is any abstraction on a third-party operation that you want to encapsulate under your own facade. So think of something like an email sending service. You may actually consume the service from various parts within your system as a whole, but you want to decorate that with the sending logs and specific credentials that you want littered throughout the overall system. So as such, you can encapsulate the service with your own translation service. And the beauty of these services and why I really like them is that when you change vendors or versions of the third-party system, you can maintain your service API and consume the new underlying service without any other code having to change. So an edge service is responsible for serving data to users and external services, and these services can be used to provide a web view, a service that delivers that content, and other services that deliver to mobile devices. Often we use edge services to slim down our payloads to make them more mobile friendly or provide modified nav loads that meet the need of a third party contract. While edge services aren't always used, they can be a powerful layer in a complete microservice architecture. So when describing a platform, these are many different things that people can think of. So first, consider the platform as all-encompassing arena of all service operations across multiple data centers, but thinking of it as a whole first and foremost, and definitely what people consider the platform is the runtime. This can include bare metal servers, virtualizations through VMs, either public or private, or contained runtimes like a Kubernetes or Cloud Foundry. So I have spent time in each and every one of these runtimes, and I will first to admit that none of them is perfect. So running on bare metal servers definitely is the most performant, but there is a lot of pain associated with that. Kubernetes on the other hand is one of the most flexible, but again it has its own points, and I cannot recommend one way or another. But I will tell you this, that if you are running on multiple data centers, especially public and private mixed, containerization starts to become more and more attractive. So there are also a host of ancillary services that you don't write but that you run within this runtime that are included in that platform definition. These can be things like messages, queues, and cache services, authentication and authorization services, and various others. So some of these may be first class services for your organization. Like in my authorization and authorization is a first class service that we build upon. And the key here is that the platform should include everything that your application need to get work done. Also included are personal operational components, and these are the things like log aggregators and shippers, metric aggregators, and various other operations that you need to have running in your platform in order to maintain operational integrity. So especially in the move to more mission critical systems, if this operational component should never be overlooked in a platform.